Hey Legionnaires and fellow Napoleonic fans, welcome back to another NTW 3 historical battle for you today. And today we are in the year 1806 at the Battle of Pultusk, fought between the French Empire and the Russian Empire, and also the Kingdom of Prussia. Prussia has been defeated and humiliated multiple times on the battlefield, but they are not out just yet. They have found a new ally in Russia and are ready to try their hand on the battlefield once again. This battle in history was a French victory, but will history be changed today at Pultusk? In today's battle, we have 27,000 men led by Marshal Lanz taking on over 40,000 Russians and Germans in this one. I'm very much looking forward to this one. It should be an absolute grind as the French columns march towards the farmhouses over here that are held by the Russians. I think all of the, as far as I'm aware, there's like French Empire and Bavaria, it says, but I think we just have 3 Lands Corps and a Devou Corps here are the make-out of the French armies, and then I think there isn't actually a Prussian army here. They're all Russian. So I don't know whether they just like got maybe some Prussian units in amongst the Russians. I wasn't playing this one, so I don't know. But it might be the case. But either way, this is the Battle of Pultusk, fought in 1806. It was a pretty brutal one. Barclay de Tolly basically defending Pultusk against a land. It's a battle fought in Poland, so it's like I said, it's quite a bit after sort of like the major battles in sort of in Germany, like Jena, Auerstadt, those ones, and yeah, so the Prussians sort of defeated. The Russians have just sort of arrived and mobilized, and now this is the French, I guess, coming to meet the Russians, and eventually, obviously, you have like battles like Friedland and in Eylau, where the Russians also get a pretty bloodied nose, and eventually they come to the decision to sign a treaty, the Treaty of the or Tilsit, where they basically change sides and join Napoleon as an ally. Yeah, as you can see here, already line infantry Devou getting very much stuck in. We've got some light infantry from the Russians here. We've got about 4 units setting up. There you go, they're going to do their bit. Glorious volleys, there you go. The Russians musketeers as well setting up. I imagine there's going to be plenty of like Russian grenadiers and other units like that being held in reserve, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they do. Oh, I imagine also these musketeers, some of them are probably pretty good at melee, but the French are also pretty good at melee as well, so it should be a melee bayonet fest, should this one. Yes, absolutely looking forward to this one. I think France as well probably has weaker cav, I'd say. I've seen a lot of chasseurs cheval, nothing much more scary than that. So, yeah, I've seen like some hussars, and that is it, yeah. Really light cav. Obviously, the Russians can bring things like dragoons, which are back here. They're a bit more heavier, a bit more deadly. So, and maybe some other stuff. I can't see that all their army. Like I said, I wasn't in this one, so I actually don't know what they actually would have been able to bring. I imagine there might be some heavy cav loitering around, who knows. But yeah, so we are using like the cause, well, the most appropriate cause, so yeah, is land. I think this is 1806 France, as far as I'm aware. Or 1805 it might be. I don't know if there is an 1806 cause. But and the same with the Russians as well. We're using the most era appropriate units as well. Cause. So I imagine we've just got like Barclay de Tolly. I don't know. We'll have to have a look at the end, see what cause they did have. I imagine it's like Barclay de Tolly and Bennington and stuff like that. It does look glorious already, the two sides matching up. But yes, if you want to get involved in any of these sort of like NTW3 historical battles, feel free to join my Discord. The link is down below in the description. We do them very often, to be honest, and they do often come out as epic battles. And I'm expecting this one to be kind of the same. I'm told that it is an absolute grind, certainly for these farmhouses. So I'm imagining they're going to change sides a few times. They do seem like they're going to be the 2 main objectives of today's battle as well. They must be held by either side for a victory. So yeah, it's going to be just a bloody battle. I don't know, I guess maybe it's a draw if one side holds one and one side holds the other. I hadn't thought of that far ahead, but I'm presuming that's going to be the case. But yes, can Russia hold on? We'll see. Looks like they're setting forward. I don't know why they're setting forward. It's just some random infantry on their own. Just to just get isolated and just peppered to pieces. Looks like the Jaeger also got sent packing. We are going to see some Russian cav here. Looks like a Hussar unit. It is trying to flank around. It's trying to go for these guns. It might get them, you know. Or they're going to be stopped at the very last second there by chasseurs. There you go. Yeah, looks like the Russian cav just about got stopped. I mean, this is Claude Raymond Guyon. His cav is called like the Miracles of Valmy. Obviously, Valmy's quite a famous battle. But yeah, they did kind of pull off a bit of a miracle there, just saving that artillery. Well done to them. Yeah, look at this. Russia just like lost a bunch of infantry. A bit unnecessarily, really. I feel like they just got absolutely murdered, those guys did. French lines setting up over here. Could the Russians put up an artillery piece like back here and start just peppering the French lines? Do a lot of serious damage, that's for sure. Oh, we have the Grenadiers du Bataillon Elite, Les Grenadiers Oudinot. So we have Oudinot here. I guess he's not a marshal at this point, he's just a commander of Grenadiers. And we're seeing a French countercharge now by Cav going in for skirmishers. Interesting choice. Not really a prime target, I would have thought. But yeah, he's going in with the Trezvers, as is the view here. He's managed to rout them. But yeah, if he hadn't actually routed them and actually got routed himself, that would have been a really, really bad like payoff for the French, because they would have like lost the cav unit trying to rout a skirmisher. The skirmisher definitely costs less than the cav. And you can see the Russians are trying to chase them down. They've got their dragoons that are trying to chase them down. They changed their mind though, knowing that they are going to be kind of crossing over the fire of the Russians and the French. Not worth it. And we are seeing the first battle as well for this farmhouse already. Oh my gosh. What did the French send in? A grenadier unit. And they're fighting off against musketeers, and I don't know if they're winning or if they're losing. Winning slightly, apparently, these grenadiers. The 100th E. Grenadiers of the line. I'm sure they got plenty of grenadiers for this exact reason of they're just going to send them all in just into melee. We've got Carabiniers du Bataillon Elite. They are a like a skirmish, well not a skirmisher, a light infantry unit, but they're also a grenadier unit. They're a grenadier light infantry, so they've actually got really good accuracy, reload skill, and are pretty good at melee as well, often better than most of your line infantry. So I imagine they might get sent in at some point as well. The left flank over here for the French also now getting underway. Looks like they're going to be fighting some Russians out here for this sort of like forest area. Maybe then going to turn the flank of the Russians and take the city from that. So yeah, it does look like the French should win that, but I don't know. Maybe they're routing their own troops. I don't know, the Russians did just about win. The French might rout as well, to be honest. Like, covering fire from the French is probably doing damage to their own morale down here. More Russians going in. And we have Laguerre going into melee as well. I mean, the Laguerre are sometimes pretty good at melee. I don't know if that's the case today. Yeah, they're sending these guys in. They are not stopping. And they are certainly countercharging. It's a good chance to do this. With the Russian morale pretty low, seeing all these troops like routing in front of them, like the next Russian line that comes forward are just like, they're not going to be, the morale's going to be already lower, and they're already going to start to think about breaking before you even got them into melee. Looks like Laguerre here got a pretty bad volley. They might be struggling now. Red morale not looking good. French and Russians on that side in an absolute slugfest, and here we go, Russian cav coming forward. We have got some dragoons here. Now maybe the French are going to start to rout. A dragoon being immobilized could cause all sorts of problems for the French inside these streets. And it looks like they're going to fall back to sort of the outskirts of this town. Hopefully the Russians have got some grenadiers or something like that they can bring up to sort of just countercharge and retake that town, that farmhouse, because they're going to need to.
Our men are running, sir.
I thought the Russians over here are going to do an okay job, you know, in the tree line, but they've allowed the French into the tree line as well. French are breaking somewhere. Oh, it's over here, I think. The Russians are making a pretty decent push here on this flank. There you go, the Russians are broken, but I think, yeah, they made a decent push there. I'd actually had done some damage to the French, force them back. What is that unit? That looks a very... Oh, that's a guard unit. That's what it is. We do have some guard here, so this is good to see. They're going to be needed to take that town, that farmhouse back. So yeah, they might be thrown in. They're also huge units, so they often do take up a lot of space. Can hold the line for a while, good shooters. Yeah, it looks like more infantry back here. They look slightly better musketeers, but I don't think they're anything too special. A lot of cav back here though. Look at all these dragoons back here being kept in reserve. This is a lot of cav. Oh, this is the artillery, I think. That's... Oh, is it artillery? No, it is a skirmish unit, actually. I thought maybe the artillery could have been retreated. Oh, here we go. Cav on this side over here. Now engaged. You have the heavy cav being thrown in. They should beat most of the French cav here. And that's now going to endanger the Laguerre that are fighting down here. They're unfazed at the moment, but that might change. Russians are struggling over here. They are routing. Being charged by Chasseurs Cheval. That's actually caused a mass rout. I'm seeing multiple units there of Russians breaking. And actually more. Oh my gosh, are we seeing a mass rout now from the Russians? I think we are. That was a mass rout. They are getting the heavy cav out there pretty smartly though. So that's good. But yeah, the French did just inflict a huge amount of casualties onto the Russians there. And this flank's going to have to think about retreating now. Because they've just lost about 4 or 5 infantry units. Very, very quickly. Very... I don't know if it was rash, but... It was unlucky. Like, he sent in the cuirassiers to support in the fight where there was actually no cavalry. He should have had them, I guess, protecting his other combat, where the chasseurs just smashed them. I don't know who owns the... Oh, the Carabiniers still own this town, but only... this farmhouse, but only just. 27 of them left. I'd just storm it. Just storm it with your best Russians that you got nearby. You can probably take it back. What have they got waiting behind it? Grenadier, they have Oudinot's Grenadiers, and they have some line infantry. We are seeing more infantry going in now, slowly. And the slugfest over here continues as well. Like France is getting closer and closer. They're getting ready for a bayonet charge. I can sense it. They're just getting a little closer, and then they're going to just bayonet charge. But the Russians could do the same. Like I said, they're both pretty good at melee. And here we go. I think we're about to see it. Russia is getting super close now. And here we go. Cav charge might stop that, though. Like, this is point-blank range. Oh, here we go. I think this is going to be a very anticlimactic charge. But there you go. In to go both sides. And the bayonet charge has begun. Cavalry is now charging in, trying to stop it. Cavalry has died pretty quickly. Broken by a square here. Oh, we have Pavlov's Grenadiers here. I didn't even realize they're in their greatcoats, so they don't look it. And more heavy cav. Oh, this is going to be a huge push here from the Russians. They're going to try and slam through the French on this flank here. We'll see how this goes. In go the heavy cav. Going to get a good volley. Oh, they're going to get a good volley onto that cav. Killed a couple, but actually not that many. Smashing into the French. It didn't form square. Probably couldn't. And this is going to be easy pickings now, you'd think, for the Russians. We'll see. In goes the Russian infantry. They need to get those Pavlov's Grenadiers to the front somewhere. Send them round the side, maybe down the line. We've got Grenadiers holding the line. And also, I think, Carabiniers. So it's going to be a pretty tough fight here. But they have just smashed the center of the French. Line infantry just couldn't hold them back. Looks like another like heavy cav unit here. Getting shot on this. I think they're almost getting filmed, to be honest. Being shot while in combat. That's a bit rough. Gonna get a side charge from the chasseurs over here into the side of the heavy cav. That might be able to stop it. I don't know, but the Russian infantry looks like it is routing those French Grenadiers. And the French right here is looking rough. Like they've just had the flank absolutely turned. It's not looking good. A lot of units on red morale, and that could cause a mass rout here. The Russians really just pushed forward with 2 heavy cav units and just didn't stop. They need to be careful, might need to pull back their own cav, reorganize, let the infantry do some damage.
Our men are running.
Cav here is Andre Brick, a Hussar unit trying to challenge the heavy cav again. Oh my gosh, artillery is absolutely pounding this French cav. Or French and Russian cav. There you go. The Russian heavies have been stopped. They took an artillery piece. In go the Pavlovsk Grenadiers. They're charging a square here. There's not a better way to unlock this square formation than just sending the Pavlovsk Grenadiers. They will batter down the door and kill everyone inside. And they're on to the next unit already. They're not stopping. Look at these madmen. I love their hats. They're so iconic. If they break this one, which they should, they can then go down the line with all these remaining French and get rid of them. You can see the French players coming over to assist their allies, sending over some Laguerre. So yeah, Lannes is now coming over to support Davout, who's, yeah, in real trouble, really. There's some Laguerre, some more Laguerre, and some line infantry. Some healthy units, though, big units. They should slow down the enemy. And artillery's being brought up here. We have another artillery piece here as well. 4-pounder from Lannes and an 8-pounder. He's going to get really close to these artillery pieces.
Our men are running.
Maybe a little too close, I think. Hopefully some of these French units for Davout do return, but who knows, they might not. But yeah, they're being absolutely smashed. Those Pavlovsk Grenadiers have done an absolute wonder, and the heavy cab just carries on in. I don't know why it hasn't just rear charged this unit here. Can't form square. But yeah, Russia and France everywhere else seem like they're still holding. The Russian right certainly looks like it's in a little bit of trouble. Like the French have done very well here. Kind of, it's getting a little bit, I don't know, squished back here. A lot squished into a small area. Still got one more heavy cav, which is good to see. Russians can hopefully do some good work with that. Oh, this is a guard unit here.
Our men are running.
This is what I thought looked like guards, but didn't. Oh no, they are definitely guards. They're definitely not the infantry that look a little better than others. Thought maybe we'd see the guards soon in action, maybe not. Hopefully got more Pavlovsk Grenadiers lying around because they're going to need them. They are very good. Yeah, actually, yeah, look at this. Joseph Muller here actually is holding them at bay. I think that's the combat gen there, and he's forced back the Russians. Russians did take a lot of losses, but they did just absolutely annihilate this French right. And yeah, Davout is now reforming up some of his forces in this forest, but they are re-rallying, but it's not a lot. And now the French are sending even more this way, actually. Maybe they're seeing an opportunity now with the Russians having committed. They can send some of these troops over here and they can just smash through. It is possible, to be fair. The Russians may have overcommitted themselves. There's a lot of cav here, though, waiting. You be careful you don't fire your own cavalry here, men. That would be unlucky. It's look like guard artillery, actually. And this has set off an early pace. Oh, jeez, look at that. Not Hussars, Dragoons going in. I presume they're going to go for the gun, but I don't think they are. I don't know what they're going for. Getting hit hard is what they are being. Yeah, this unit might break, actually. That was a really silly push, actually, by the Russians. Why he pushed that so far forward over that gun? That was really poor. And the Ace is also a healthy Dragoon unit, just like that. The French will appreciate it if they carry on doing that with all their Dragoons. Yeah, the French hugging onto that tree line, trying to use it for cover. They certainly will start to inflict more and more casualties onto the Russians. Still got Udino and his Grenadiers. I think there's multiple of that unit. We are seeing multiple lands calls here today. Got Michel Claparede, maybe? I don't know. My French is terrible. The Carabineers, though, obviously, all these guys in reserve. I'm guessing that these two units are pretty good in melee or something like this. The Laguerre just aren't in the front lines. And then the 64th Line Infantry, yeah, it seems like a lot of people keeping it in reserve. Must have pretty good melee stats. Laguerre over here setting up. They're just shooting up 4 musketeers all the way down that street. The French are now pushing into the center of Pultusk with some menace and some force. Here we go, yeah, another Udinor Grenadier here. Might be about to charge down the street. I would be doing it now if I was them. They're all blobbing up here otherwise. Here we go. Looks like we're going to see multiple units actually going in. Here we go. Yeah, I kind of like tying down both units. I don't know if this Grenadier really wanted to be in there. Definitely could get this Cav maybe and just cause some havoc. They're all going into melee. Get that little Lancer, could actually do some serious damage. Here we go, Russian Cav now countercharging exactly as I said it should be. Which is not the one I thought was going to countercharge. So yeah, Dragoons came out of nowhere and just charged these guys on the side. And the Russians over here are actually managing to break. Looks like the 100th Line Infantry. Yeah, these guys are starting to master out. Only the Grenadiers are holding on. Cavalry, unfortunately, has been broken. I think it just got shot to pieces. Russians are starting to do some serious damage in the middle here, though, with those Dragoons. There you go. Infantry's broken. That was a massive loss there for the French. A lot of troops got beaten back there. Another... I don't know if this one was a good idea, though. This one was unsupported. Kind of a wasteful... Got a couple of wasteful Dragoon charges here. Now it looks like the French right's kind of tucking in a little bit, kind of ignoring that open plain. It's going to go more into the actual center of Pultusk, more around the the outskirts. Actually aiming for Pultusk itself. French in the center are pulling back as the Russians shift more troops there. Looks like they're just, yeah, carrying on fighting in these streets, house for house. The Guerres fighting here, they just got charged, these poor musketeers. I don't think they saw it coming, they haven't moved at all. There you go, look at that, the Grenadiers are not broken. Heavy cav on this side charged in, they need to get away from these squares. They can do some serious damage then. Fighting off against these Carabiniers, might do some decent damage, we'll see. Yeah, the heavy cav broke one, it needs to go into the lights, all these units over here, avoid the squares. Missiles hacking and slashing to try and break through these squares. Howitzers going off, I presume that's the Russians with the howitzers. Back here maybe? Yeah, they have howitzers all the way back here. And this could be where it's decided, to be honest. The Russians break here, which they are starting to. Quite a few units of infantry are breaking here. They fully break on that side. That might just like undo the Russian defense in the center, which is actually holding quite nicely at the moment, as we've got French cav, Russian cav and Russian infantry kind of just swassing away the French units around this townhouse here, this farmhouse. I don't know why I want to keep calling it a townhouse today, but I do. The Russians and the French, when the French in square, I don't think they fight as well as if they're just like not in the square, but they need to stay in it just to avoid cav charges. The Guerre over here and Carabiniers fighting off. I mean, I think both units actually might be quite good at melee by the looks of it. It's why they've been brought unanimously by everyone. That's what I was trying to say. I was trying to say unanimously. I can't say. You know the word I'm trying to say. Oh my gosh. Words are hard, it seems. But yeah, the heavy cav again, sniffing around looking for an opportunity. General dead. Oh no, who's also General? One of the French generals, I think, is dead. I'm not sure. I think so. Theodore, I think, might be dead. Lion infantry unit. And here we go, more cav going in. They have just, well, they broke anyway, but they did just recharge their own troops. As does the heavy cav, to be honest. That might rouse some of the Russians. Got Unos down here, though, in melee. Other battalion of Grenadiers didn't do so well. Can this will do better? It's taking on the heavy cav. Heavy cav's getting hit hard. I think it is being forced back. It's not retreating. Well, it's retreating, but it's not routed. That's what I meant to say. Where are those guardsmen for the Russians? So they are now, or they're not. These are the better infantry that I saw earlier. Where are the guards? Where are the Pavlovsk Grenadiers? Get them back over here. Yeah, the Russians, they seem to be able to just keep shifting infantry out of the woodwork. I don't know. They might have plenty that I just can't see. Here are the guard, though. They're just sitting patiently in the middle. Artillery setting up over here in the center, trying to cover that. And Russia routing another French infantry unit here. Could they maybe go for a charge on these grenadiers? There's only 29 of them in the building. I feel like it's definitely doable. I mean, they tied down this French army over here of Russia, like keeping it away from the building, supporting its ally here. But yeah, this is land that Davu's actually come over here and try to support with whatever he has left, and he is now actually trying to help around this building. This building way back here is slowly being leveled. Okay, so we are back, and I think we're basically back at where we left off. Unfortunately, the replay did crash. It's just one of those NTW3 fun things that happens when you cover these sort of battles. But yeah, we are sort of back at where we left off, I think. Yeah, I remember this like little fight that's taking place over here. But yeah, so the Russians and the French is going to duel it out over here. And yeah, I think we should be back to where everything happened. Yeah, the massive fight over here is just taking place. And it looks like the cuirassiers are still alive for the Russians, but they're much depleted. And like I was banging on and saying, they need the Pavlovsk Grenadiers over here in the guard. They can turn this this whole fight around on this flank here. Not that they really need to. I mean, like, the French have become just so distracted by trying to smash through this defense over here with the Russians. And they're now no longer like sort of concerned about the actual fight, which matters, which is the fight for the farmhouses. They still have a couple of units over here that could, you know, reclaim them. I think they are trying to do that now. The Russians sent in some infantry. That might succeed in taking the building. It might not. Joseph Muller is now going in there. I think that's one of the combat gens. Still some healthy dragoons back here as well, being kept in reserve. But yeah, certainly the French over here. And a bit of a line fight with the Russians. Where the Russians could have sent this cavalry sort of around and like hit the back of the French lines, they maybe could do. I mean, they now got these huge gun batteries up here. These are, like I said, I think are guard artillery. You can sort of tell by the hats that it's got like that sort of this red and yellow sort of trim going on. That one just hit the ground right in front of it. Don't think that's going to hit anything. Yeah, got that similar sort of golden trim to the actual line infantry like guard. So they're trying to hit these line infantry over here of the French. Don't know if they're really succeeding. I'm not seeing any hits really land. There's a random dragoon just here. Look at this guy. What are you doing, sir? I actually managed to kill someone. That's hilarious. Well, he's actually managed. I thought he was routing dragoon. He's actually killed a couple of infantry. That's hilarious. Yeah, he did get killed off. But yeah, the artillery needs to find like a better target that it's not going to just hit randomly. But there you go. Building has been recaptured by the Russians. I feel like I'm kind of rooting for the Russians. They're like, the French are just supercharged in this era, but they have like done a good job here of the Russians are holding on to this building. Whether the guard here could just charge this line infantry, like counter-charge it. Well, there's another French unit coming up in La Guerre, so they actually might need to charge them. Yeah, here we go. I think we're going to see exactly that. Here we go. Russian guard going into La Guerre. They go off a bit of a volley. Not much. Here we go. Yeah, Russian guard going in. I did wonder whether they were going to break and waver. We are seeing French cav coming in here. They're going to just go right for this general over here. That is a danger. Russia, you need to save your gen. Oh, I think he's routing. I think he's routing, but I don't think he's dead. Oh, I don't know. Need to be careful. I think they might have got him. He's not dead, because usually it then appears, but he is very much routed, I think. And just like that, look at that, morale for the guard gone down. And I'm sure it'll be the same for other Russian units as well. Fight on, men of Russia! Fight on! I know they kind of re-rallied. You need like a just side charge here, just to rout this Laguerre. The guard is a useful unit to keep alive. But good charge from that little Hussar unit. Andre Briesch there doing a good job. You know. And what the French have left is pretty decent. They've got those Laguerre left. They still have line infantry, you know, some decent line infantry here. It's a healthy line infantry. Yeah, Russia's actually falling back. And the guard broke. They got beaten by Laguerre, of all things. They did manage to hold on to the building, though. So that's something, I guess. We're going to see a charge over here. Looks like by the Russians, sending forward their dragoons again. Looking at maybe a side charge onto these French here. The Russian cav is out over here as well. That's going to come slamming to the back. Maybe that's going to go for a general as well. There you go. Yeah, I think another French ship. This is actually lands here. Going to get taken up by Russian dragoons that just came out of nowhere. They rout him. He's in equally as much trouble. We have got these grenadiers. Got Oudinot's grenadiers coming over trying to save the day. They're trying to form square literally there. They might say, oh no, I don't think they did. They did get the general, but the dragoons did rout. I mean, I think that's good trade there for the Russians, to be honest. Got another general, and yeah, that dragoon did actually try and go for a charge. I think it was the French. Just got absolutely side down by musket fire. But they did get another general. It was all part of the plan, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they really needed to sacrifice that extra dragoon, but they did. It's re-rallied, though. I don't know why Russians keep sending forward like random infantry units on their own. Just don't bother. Just keep them back. Russia's back to, I mean, France and Russia are back to square one and where they started off this battle, really. They just started off, you know, like, Russia held the town, and the French were outside the town, sort of fighting it out. Yeah, France has kind of really been pushed out in the, well, never really entered it properly, I guess, on its right-hand side. They've kind of just been stuck outside it. They're now becoming central. What they have remaining, Suchet they have here, another ex-French marshal here. Well, like, I mean, soon to be French marshal. I guess he's not ex, soon to be French marshal. With his grenadiers battalion here as well. Yeah, Gabriel Suchet, and he's like under general like grenadiers to Oudinot. I didn't even realize that. So it's like a Suchet, and yeah, that one is just Oudinot. I guess it's a combat chain, that one. But anyway, the French are coming forward again. They're going to send in the 103rd line by the looks of it. They're going to try and take the building back. Actually, no, they're already in there fighting. Are the French? Well, at least something is. Looks like the Russians might lose it this time, but actually the French are pretty low morale as well. The 64th line did fail to take it, and now another unit going in for the French. The Russians might hold it. It's hard to say. It's getting very, very tense though at this point. Pultusk is looking very, very nervy. Russian artillery over here. Probably needs to reorganize, find a better line of fire. Russian infantry going in here. I don't know what they're going for. Frenchies are, well, I don't know. I don't know where this unit is. It's combat losing. I don't know where the, I don't know if they also entered the building, maybe? Oh no, there you go. Maybe they did. Oh no, I think they're inside and outside the building. That's what's going on. So that was actually kind of a good move there by the Russians. Managed to catch a unit as it was going into the building. Kind of saving the building as well. French are sending in Gabriel Suchet though now with his grenadiers. They're going in. Can the Russians do the same again and countercharge this grenadier unit? It's a healthy grenadier unit. It's over 100, well, over 150 men. It's dropping quite quickly. I'm still waiting to see whether if the Pavlovsk Grenadiers are still alive, because they would have the ability to retake it if the Russians were to lose that building again. I haven't seen them. A lot of combat gens over here. There you go. Oh, a general is dead. General dead. I think that was maybe Gabriel Suchet, maybe assaulting that building. Potentially. I mean, his unit's on low, looking low, but he actually has managed to take the building. It cost his general his life. But there you go. They actually did manage to take the building. We're having a little lag spike there. I don't know why. We have the cuirassiers coming in again. They are going to rout the French that were inside the building. So half the unit was outside as well. And there you go. The Russians, as soon as they lost it, have almost immediately regained it. Really well done there by the Russian players. These cuirassiers need to get out of here now, though. They need to, like, get back to spreading territory. I was still hoping if I could find the Pavlos. Oh, this is them? No, it's not. I thought I think they must have routed. I think they must be dead. Sad. I don't know where the French are going with all this infantry. Oh, they're just defending the road, I guess. They maybe want to think about, like, bombarding this building. Maybe just to weaken it a little bit. Look at this, because the French have given up this sort of center here. The artillery, the cavalry here can now go and take out the French artillery if he wanted. What else we got back here? It's actually an infantry unit all the way back here that's just been left, forgotten about. 34th line. But yeah, this cavalry here can go around it now. It can just start to think about getting behind the French lines, threatening those. Here comes the 34th line infantry. They are going to come forward, maybe try and attempt to take this building. It's all they can do now, the French. It's all they can do. I hope that they can take it. Actually, they can send in the 103rd. They're setting to an absolute grind. I think the Russians have better reserves and possibly better infantry left for the job. And they still have this cav as well. I like this little... Hussars actually managed to take out the... well, I thought it managed to take out the artillery crew, but I don't think it has. They've just about survived. Maybe not. The artillery crew's running away there. There's another artillery crew here, though. There you go. They managed to get rid of that hussar. It was already causing enough issues as it was. Russians here shooting themselves in the back. They need to be careful of that. That's going to do a lot of damage to morale. Here come the French. They're coming into this bit, into like this sort of complex here, getting shot by multiple angles from the French, by the Russians. I mean, if this Russian unit just turns around, it could do a lot of damage to the French behind it. That's all I'm saying. Same with this one. I mean, the French just marched in here. It's easy to get flanked. There you go. Russia's already forcing back the French here. Morale's not looking good now that one unit of the French is broken. Another cavalry charge coming forward here. Again, they're going to go in for these Laguerre. The Russian cav is in an excellent game. It really has. They've been unstoppable. The Russian heavies just second to none. Like I said, the Russians just got better cav today. Like the French had just hussars and chasseurs. Not much they can do about them. Looks like... Yeah, it looks like this Dragoon over here has been taking casualties. It's certainly being shot at, I think, by the French as it comes by. Has the artillery also turned around? It has, actually. They're trying to shoot the Russian Dragoons. They should be able to get off a charge, I think, and rout those guns. We'll see. Artillery being swept aside here by the Russian light infantry that's coming forward. And it looks like it's just a bit of mopping up left to do, and the French have fully routed. I also think these heavies have just charged a square and didn't even care about it. They just smashed on through, well done to them. And yeah, that's kind of it. I think that's game. I think the Dragoons did get hit in the face and actually did rout. Yeah, you can see, I think, where they lost all their cavalry to artillery. But yeah, I think the Battle of Pultusk is basically over. Russia is going to win the battle today, it seems. They are going to change history, and maybe that will keep the Russians and the Prussians in the game for much, much longer. We'll see. I didn't even see this massive battery back here. This is huge. This is hidden most of the game, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, look at the size of that thing. That's how many guns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guns. Insane. That's a howitzer, I'm pretty sure. That's insane. No wonder they've been able to like bombard and shell the French wherever they went. I think they have got the gun. The gun looked like it's been abandoned. And looks like the cav here might rout as well, to be honest. Yeah, finding that heavy cav is routed. Got a brutal volley to the face from the French infantry. That was brutal. But yeah, they should get mopped up in a moment. But even if they don't, it should be a Russian victory. They hold two like town, like farmhouses that they need to hold. That is all there was to it. We'll just keep fast forwarding, and we'll see whether. Well, we'll see how this French unit dies. Will it die to guns or the sabers of some Russian cav, or maybe it'll just get bombarded by Russian artillery? I mean, they are bringing it forward, bizarrely. But yeah, they've had some huge batteries. I mean, this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guns. Equally just insane. Yeah, the Russians' artillery is just mad. They are actually, yeah, doing some pretty decent damage to the howitzers to the infantry. All that Russian unit needs to do is get a good volley off and they'll be fine. Like now, if the Dragoon was alive or that heavy cav was alive, they could have easily dealt with it, but no. The artillery also is just there. Here we go. I think they're going to go for a charge. Probably the right idea. Both sides go for a charge. Should rout the French fairly quickly. And there you go. That is game. That is the Battle of Pultusk over and done with. So we'll have a quick look at the end results when they appear. And we'll see how they did. So yeah, defeat there. As you can see, this was sent in by Johnny the Buffoon, who always usually sets out these scenarios for us. So thank you very much, Johnny, for sending this one in. It certainly was a fun one. I had a good fun watching it. It was a brutal fight for the French. And good to see the Russians, you know, holding their own for a change. Certainly was a fun one. The heavy cav, I think, one of their MVPs. And I'm also going to say that charge on the right flank, well, the French right, Russian left, here just devastated the French. And they just didn't, I don't think, recovered properly. They nearly did on the left. But I think they got just a little too distracted there and needed to actually come into the city a little bit earlier to try and take this farmhouse and maybe make a push for the center. Yeah, we'll have a quick look at these unit stats. And you can have a look and see how they did. So artillery, 193 kills. One of the infantry, 145. Joseph Muller getting 129 kills. Yeah, you can see the rest of the kills there if you want to. A lot lower than you'd expect, really. I mean, it's a bit worrying when your artillery gets the most kills, I think. But yeah, hopefully I put up the end results as well for you to have a look at. If I didn't, I do apologize. But they should have been up. So I hope you did enjoy. Do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here and want to see more NTW 3 historical battles, just battles generally, and feel free to comment as well to show your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.